Hello, welcome to another episode of the Crufts Couch Pod. Today, I want to look at investing in you and being selfish. Because this time of year, we tend to prioritize everything and everyone else. And I'm wondering if even when I said the word selfish, that you got a little crunchy or a little cringy, like, ugh, I want to be selfish. I don't like being selfish. I'm proud. It's like a badge of honor to be the most selfless, altruistic person. Yet, what is it creating when we are totally draining ourselves? All right, so what is going on for you this time of year? What are you doing? Are you running around trying to get all the last minute errands, baking, doing all the things? Where are your boundaries at? Are you just allowing everyone to come and stay for way too long than you would prefer? Or are you feeling obligated to do things? I mean, it is just it's so much. It's so much to navigate. So I just wanted to look at this idea of being selfish, prioritizing you. Because when we go into the have-tos of something, I have to do this, I have to do that, it creates resistance and resentment, usually. So if you find yourself saying that, I have to do X, really look at where you disempower yourself. Because basically when we say that, it's like we give away our choice. Because the truth is, we do have choice. We could choose to, ruffle the feathers and say no and do the things that are going to support us. We could choose that, right? But if we immediately say, I have to, then it's like I don't give myself even the option. So what would it create for you to start prioritizing you? Like truly, you being the most valuable product in your life. Have you made everyone else more valuable than you? Ouch. Their opinions, their projections, their judgments, their demands. And what is that creating for you and your nervous system? So, is your soul calling you to just take some space, create some space? There really is this badge of honor also with hustling and being busy and so tired and all the things. And I'm just wondering what creating some time and investing in you looks like. Because to me, being selfish, so to speak, is not a bad thing. It means I'm prioritizing me. It means I'm not codependent to everyone else's demands, right? It's so interesting that this reality has made selfish a bad thing. Almost, to like control you or something, right? Because we know judgment, the point of judgment is to control. The point of judgment is to control. And so if you are judging selfishness as a bad thing, then you cannot choose it, right? You have to control yourself to not choose it because you've decided it's wrong, right? So what if being selfish was not good, not right, not wrong? It just was, and it created something. It created more space and availability for you to be you. I see a lot of clients that come to me that almost don't know who they be. They don't know who they are because they've spent a lifetime of prioritizing, pleasing, right? Doing everything for everyone else. So what does that look like for you to actually invest in you? Is it time, space? Is it a boundary? What is it? And what if you could choose it right now? You didn't have to wait till January 1. Okay, January 1st, It's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to choose me. It's like, no. What if you could just choose it today? Right? This 10 seconds. You're taking the time to tune in to this pod. You're choosing you right now, right? So, is this what you want to be doing? Even listening to this right now, are you coming at it from a place of receiving and kind of an open space? Or are you coming at it from a shame, I have to do more learning, I have to heal, I have to get more conscious, I have to do it right, I have to do this right? If you are listening to this from that space, please turn it off and go do something for you, for fun, for just the sheer sake of joy, not because you need to accomplish something. How much are we just constantly striving to change, striving to not be who we are, to be something different? So, what does that look like? For me, investing in me is many different ways. And I'm tying these together because I get where when folks want to kind of invest in themselves, sometimes they got to like speak to their significant other, or they got to justify it to their family or justify it to whoever. Because ultimately, some folks have some judgments around it or think you should prioritize them over you, which is so interesting. Like, don't prioritize you. You need to prioritize me. What? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, where have you been refusing to invest in you? So, something lately that I've been choosing for the past couple months now has just been regular yoga, Pilates, just something, investing back in my body. I spent a lot of years just kind of like lightly attending to it, I will say. I mean, after, almost 2 decades of ballet and really intense training, I get it. I went through seasons where I didn't desire intensity, and then I did, and then I didn't, and I did. So it was just kind of something for me to navigate. But the past couple of years have really just been more like at-home workouts, or going for walks, or lifting some light weights at home, and doing something light like that. And I got the ping this summer that it was time to really focus on my body and re-strengthen old muscles and balance out my health. I just, gone through this major move, and as I've talked about, and it did create a lot of stress, besides just all of the changes. And I get also with the recent choice in entrepreneurship, it has had my nervous system more on edge that, okay, now this is on me. Okay, I'm the one that creates the revenue. Okay, so what's next? And, this isn't working at all, like all of that business. So I was like, I'm really feeling called to anchor in my energy. And so my husband was out of town for something, and we just moved to our new location, and I was like, you know what? I want to go to a Pilates class, just a little cute Pilates class, and we'll see how it goes. It's like I dropped him off at the airport and headed straight to this class. And immediately it's like something woke up inside of me that I had forgotten. Something about prioritizing me and my body. Now, it's not like I didn't have the time, because that was not the case. Now being an entrepreneur, had plenty of time, if you will, because it's like I create my own schedule. I had plenty of time, so it wasn't that. But and with this, it's like there was no one saying, don't do this. You know what I mean? There was no one saying it, but it was just so interesting that the programming can run so deep that we just don't even prioritize ourselves, even when we can, right? Even when it's available. Because I also work with a lot of moms, and I know busy lives, especially with work and kids and just all the things. So I have the luxury of the time, yet for some reason, it wasn't doing the thing. And so following the just really subtle ping to go to this class just opened up a whole new possibility, vibration, and availability to be in my body. And I just immediately was like, that's it. Give me the unlimited monthly pack because I am going to be here like every day. And yes, I can be a bit of a all or nothing person, if you will. And I follow my energy, right? I follow the intensity of it. And it's not from a space of I have to. I don't have to go to these classes. It's like I got the unlimited package because I'm like, I'm going to come more than, I think the other option is a 12 pack per month. I'm like, I'm going to come, I get the feeling I'm going to come more than that, but let's just see. And we'll just go from there. It's not wrong. It's not right. I'm just really feeling the call to this. And cut to 3.5 months later, I've been going probably like 6 days a week, sometimes 7, depending on body soreness. My body's sore, I'm taking a break. And it's not from the place of have to, should, punishment, shame. It's not that. It's coming from a place of sheer desire to move my body, to strengthen my body, to play. I mean, there's just so much that's being uncovered here. I mean, simply in the yoga classes I've been doing where we're trying all these different poses and working up to, harder and harder poses and whatnot, I really have to come at it from a place of just curiosity, of fun, of exploration, right? Of not needing to please anyone else, not even myself, just for play, just for fun. And it's interesting because in the beginning with some of the poses, I would get a little tearful, like almost like, kind of having a trauma response of just fear going into them and just navigating some of the past health anxieties I had. But I'm also seeing this just like, I don't know, little like giggles that come out here and there, in class when it's like, I kind of fall over or I didn't make a transition very smoothly, something like that. And it's just been so nice because all the training and all the years of ballet have been so intense, and so much judgment that I really wanted to choose this out of just pleasure because I want to, right? Yes, it's hard, and yes, muscles are burning and shaking and all those things. And I'm just really aware that it has just created a lot for me. Not only, has my body become stronger over time, but just mentally, right? It's kind of like all the things we know. It's like we know exercise helps our health. We know it. But what is it about this time, right? This time when you've made a choice and something just clicks. It's like, what is that? And I was looking at that because there's kind of an energy popping up that I'm aware of in the collective lately that's like, we kind of want our hand held right now. We kind of want to be led. We want to be together. And I get, possibly this could be from a pretty intense past couple of years where we were isolated and just a lot of collective trauma. And so it's so interesting that I was just intuitively called back to moving my body, investing in myself in that way, and then just being around other people, like being in the live class where I could be guided, held, so to speak, by somebody else. And that has just felt so nurturing to be in that space. So it's been really amazing to just invest in myself this way. So not only is it financial, sure, and time, and, to see what else is possible, and just for the fun of it, right? Sometimes people make this like, invest in yourself. It's so serious, I'm just like, well, what's going to create greater here for my body? And I know it's really helped my body in a multitude of ways of just feeling more grounded, more present, some health weirdness resolved, of course, as I'm better regulating my nervous system and all those things. And it has been just such a gift. And to the point that, I prioritize these classes, even if my husband is home, you know what I mean? And it takes away some time from us, so to speak. What creates greater, and he is such a support of this, is just when I am choosing what makes me feel good, because then when we're together or just day-to-day things, it creates a better quality of life overall. So that's one way I am investing in myself. And I'm wondering where you're holding back from choosing it, whether it be financial, whether it be time. Where are you stopping yourself? For fear of what? Like that you won't commit, for fear that you won't follow through? What is it? Where are you judging yourself about it? Right? Because that's the key. Something else that I've shared on here lately that I've chosen is to do this yoga teacher training. And it's like January to May. And as I've shared, I have there's no actual current desire to go teach, right? That's not the plan right now. It's just like, I know from all the great experience here, I'm really requiring to see what else is possible, to see if I actually even put in some more time, 200 hours to be specific, more time into this. What kind of healing will that create for my body? What kind of awarenesses will I have and be able to share, right? So I'm just really feeling called to it. I will say for me, this one wasn't the financial, should I choose it or not? I mean, that's always a consideration, right? But it was more the time commitment, because when I was looking at the energy, I was like, well, my ego went into what if by March you're over it and you don't want to do it, and then what? Then what are you going to choose? It's like, well, I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there, right? But people get freaked out with these kind of longer term commitments that really can create so much. That really can create so much change. And so I'm aware how, yes, a short, potent class can make a difference, right? Like a short one Pilates class can definitely make a difference. And what's really changing my body and the strength and my mentality is the constant practice of it, the persistence after moving my body. So not the same every day, right? It's practically a different class every day, whether it be yoga, Legree, Pilates, whatever. But just continually practicing it, just over and over and over again, because it's creating something different. So that's kind of what I'm aware of, even with this yoga teacher training, as okay, it's going to be, yes, I'm going to learn a lot, of course, yes, and it's a lot of hours of continuing to practice and really nailing down the basics. And I'm just getting how important that is, because we tend to run a bit from the long-term commitments. We tend to avoid it, or we tend to abandon ourselves early. And so with some of my offerings, I have either 3 or 6 month commitments because of that. It was something we often saw in the therapy world called a flight into health. And basically it means you've gone a little bit, you've gotten a little relief, right? Maybe you've gone to a few Pilates classes, you feel a little stronger, and then you're like, great, everything's good. I don't need to do this anymore. And usually it's right before the kind of breakthrough where new choices are going to need to be made. And there's a lot of struggle. Then also after feeling better, because it's oh, this is going to be something. There's just a lot coming up, and then we flee. Trauma response. We flee. So what is the thing that that maybe you've half committed to, or you chose a few and then you're but I didn't really follow through. I didn't really see it through, right? And it's again, if we came from this presupposition that selfishness wasn't wrong and we continued to choose for us, how much more willing would you be to invest in you? Time, resources, whatever that is. Because I can tell you, I mean, I've worked with a lot of folks and been in a lot of my own containers. And there is something about really getting to know someone and being able to take things so much further, right? Because it's like you're continuing to nail the basics and you are comfortable now in this container to really be raw. Like I would say now in yoga and Pilates, and I know the people at the studio and I see a lot of regular, other clients. And so I just feel more comfortable just being me and being able to expose that and just, like I said, just laugh in class or just try and fall down, and versus trying to be all bound up, like I need to look a certain way, blah, blah, all of that. So there is something about this kind of continual going after the basics, being in a similar container, right? That's like building safety over time. So there's just like a lot that I'm looking at here, because I'm getting that the more that you can put yourself into these spaces where it is kind of this continual commitment, recommitment to yourself, that it just makes such a difference. So I wonder what that is for you. For me, it's the yoga teacher training right now. It's that. It's continuing to choose my one-on-one containers. It's continuing to, be in certain memberships. And what I'm really loving right now is being in things where, it's like I know the tools. I know meditation. I know this, I know that, right? But something about being in a space where someone else is leading it. It's the same with yoga and Pilates. Like I know the moves, I could do it at home, but like I get so much more out of being in the space and just showing up and being led. So I'm wondering where you could create some more space for you to invest in you and be willing to be a little selfish. Until next time.